ever come home and you just want a game that you can mindlessly play to forget that your life temporarily sucks at that current moment in time? That's Counter-Strike Condition Zero for me. This box I'm showing you with this ugly Goodwill sticker I've yet to take off is the Counter-Strike 1 Anthology, and it too calls it Condition Zero, and it has everything that came out with it at that time. I play the Steam version as it's the most up-to-date, and as you can see there's only 9 hours in it, but that's because before I really played this I would just waste my time and go. But Global Offensive requires a little bit of hardware to sort of run, and at the time I didn't really have a good gaming laptop, so I went back in time, and that's when I played Condition Zero. So really, the opening line was a little bit more misleading. Oftentimes, I'll go play Global Offensive or some other first-person shooter that has bots. But hey, when am I ever going to talk about Condition Zero ever again without setting it up that way? Because today, I really do feel like doing something mindless. I'm not lying when I say that Condition Zero is my lazy game. And Counter-Strike at its core is not a simple, brainless game if you're playing against humans who know what they're doing, but the AI are not really good. But it's not a Call of Duty deathmatch with bots. There's a little bit enough there for you to get still a little bit of a mental fix, but also be zoning out at the same time. Let me put it this way. You still gotta plant the bomb, you still gotta defend bomb sites, and you still gotta manage your funds unless you just are absolutely a god and you don't really need to do that either. With Call of Duty, it's just die, respawn, die, respawn. Here, because you have to wait to respawn when you die, you oftentimes be a little bit more patient with your moves. Or you could be like me and just quit to the main menu and start a new server. But where Condition Zero really capitalizes is the fact that it has sort of a mini campaign mode. No, I'm not talking about deleted scenes, that really god-awful story mode that they tried to tack on to Counter-Strike. I'm talking about like the missions, where you pick your roster of teammates and go into battle with specific objectives while winning the game at the same time. It might be that you need to take out a certain amount of opponents and not just let your AI buddies do all the work. It may be something like kill 3 opponents with a submachine gun, or it just maybe get 1 headshot. Sometimes it's saving hostages. Regardless, winning the match isn't enough. You have to meet the objective criteria. As you move on, you get more points to spend on your team roster, which leads to better AI, but in my experience, they're all pretty garbage to begin with. This adds a little bit of a progression. You see that you're actually moving, that you're not just playing the same 5 maps over and over again in Team Deathmatch Black Ops with bots. Though Call of Duty Black Ops had combat training, which is something I wish every Call of Duty had, because again, the sense of progression where you actually level up and unlock things kind of adds to it. And we live in an age where multiplayer servers are shut down and the majority of the population move on, leaving behind a hacker wasteland and you trying to find that one legit server that is still active. And even when it is, it's at very specific times. It's stuff like Condition Zero that adds specific game modes like this for that single player who's very lonely in his room and is very just sort of angry. It's that mix of shooting and actually progressing in some way and semi-easy bots that just make it a good game to waste time on when you really just want to unwind. Sure, there's plenty of games that I can do that with, but again, when am I ever going to talk about Counter-Strike Condition Zero? Because I didn't play multiplayer Counter-Strike till Global Offensive. Even Source was a game that I never really played. And that's just because of the time it came out, I wasn't into Counter-Strike. I was that Call of Duty kid. If it wasn't for Gary's mod, I probably would have never ever bought Source to begin with. And Source is fun. Sometimes I interchange them out. You know, sometimes I play Condition Zero mindlessly, sometimes I play Source, sometimes I play Go, sometimes I play Call of Duty Black Ops Combat Training. But the point being, Condition Zero is a game that often gets overlooked, and I mean, there's good reason for it. There's better versions ahead of it, so why go backwards? But I tell you, it's just so nostalgic even if you haven't played it. You got the crusty 3D, you got the great voice acting that they've never changed, and you got maps that you don't see in the later games. Seriously, Condition Zero has a ton of maps. Probably the only downside is that the modding scene is not as intense as it is later on in the Counter-Strike era. Source and Go get modded heavily, but Counter-Strike Condition Zero only gets a couple really badly user-created maps. So now I'm going to play some Condition Zero on my free time while I still have it, because I am not in the best of moods. And I implore you, check out Condition Zero. If you're a Counter-Strike fan today and you've never played it, it's good to see the roots. This isn't the first game, but it's a little bit more playable because the first game did not have bot support. And you should check it out if you're someone who just needs something quick to do and you don't necessarily have a gaming rig. The beautiful part about Condition Zero is pretty much any modern machine can run it smoothly. At least I think so. Maybe not quote me on that. But every crappy potato I have has ran it just fine. Though for some reason my Alienware has difficulties with it, but that's a different story for a different day. I'm Elijah Moon Blackwell, CD-ROM Fossil, and I hope you enjoyed this quick video on Counter-Strike Condition Zero.